Have you ever started your car on a chilly winter morning to find the low tire pressure light staring back at you? I have. And the first time I thought, do I have a nail? Nope. It wasn't a leak, it was science. I'm Morgan Lane, your safety first car guy. This is Recall Roadmap with Morgan, where I turn car headaches into simple wins. Here's a shocker. A US government review found more than 1 in 4 cars has at least one tire 8 PSI below the recommended level. In winter, that kind of drop can happen overnight. Meteorologist Kylie Miller says it plainly. Cold air is more dense. When air cools, it contracts, leading to less force in your tires. That's why the light pops on even when nothing's punctured. I've seen it in my own driveway and in the shop for years. We combed through tire industry data and weather science to explain what's really happening inside your tires when the temperature tanks. By the end of this video, you'll know why pressure drops, how much to expect, what PSI to aim for, and easy steps to avoid those TPMS warnings. Let's kick off with the simple physics that's quietly letting air out of your tires. Here's the plain truth. It isn't a mystery leak, it's physics. Your tires are sealed volumes of air. In simple terms, science says PV microsc nRT. Don't worry about the letters. It means when temperature goes down, pressure goes down if the tire's size stays the same. Think about a balloon you leave in the freezer, it shrinks. Your tires do that too, just not as obvious. Meteorologists use the same idea to forecast pressure. Kylie Miller explains it like this. Cold air is more dense. When air cools, it contracts. So those air molecules bounce around less and push less on the tire walls. That push is PSI, pounds per square inch. Here's the rule of thumb I use with drivers. For every 10 degrees Celsius drop, about 18 degrees Fahrenheit, you lose around 1 to 2 PSI. That's normal. So if your tires are 72 degrees and at 32 PSI in the evening, and it drops to freezing by morning, you can expect a noticeable dip. Quick trivia time. Guess how many PSI you'd lose in that 72 to 32 swing and drop your guess below. No math needed. We read the gas law explanations in weather notes and tire manuals to nail these numbers. Now let's put real numbers on it and talk about that dashboard light. Numbers time. Small drops add up fast. Say you set your tires to 36 PSI on a mild 60-degree warm day. If a cold front knocks it down to about 20 to the gram, a 40-degree slide, you might see a 3 to 4 PSI drop by morning. That's 36 down to around 32. If your overnight swing is closer to 50 degrees, 4 to 5 PSI less is common. Live at higher altitude, the lower outside pressure can compound what you feel, so borderline tires trip warnings sooner. Here's where the light comes in. The Tire Pressure Monitoring System, or TPMS, is set by regulation to alert when a tire drops to roughly 25% below the recommended PSI on your door placard. That system became standard after the Tread Act, and it's doing its job. Continental even notes the symbol lights more often on cold mornings because of overnight temperature drop. So no, your car isn't glitching. It's reporting physics. We dug into the TPMS rules and owner's manuals to confirm those thresholds. Give a thumbs up below if you've woken up to that light after a deep freeze. Now, is a few PSI just an annoyance, or does it actually raise your risk on the road? Let's talk safety next. Here's the part most people overlook. Soft tires make hard accidents. Even a mild underinflation changes how your car steers, grips, and stops. Federal data ties underinflated tires to real crashes. In 1 year, they were involved in 247 fatal crashes nationwide. That's only a small slice of all fatalities, but it's still hundreds of families forever changed. About 41 deaths a year are blamed on blowouts from tires that are too low. I've investigated cases where a morning of slow leaks turned into a hot afternoon highway blowout. It happens. The safety folks at NHTSA outline the chain clearly. Underinflated tires increase skidding and hydroplaning, extend your stopping distance, and raise the risk of flats and blowouts. On wet or icy roads, that margin matters even more. A few feet longer to stop can be the difference between a scare and a crash. Treat that warning light as a safety alert, not just an annoyance. We pulled these numbers from official safety reports so you don't have to. If staying safe isn't reason enough, underinflation also takes money right out of your wallet. Let's look at the fuel cost that sneaks up on you in winter. Your wallet might be hissing too. Underinflated tires make your car work harder because soft tires flex and drag. That extra drag burns fuel. One federal estimate looked at all U.S. passenger cars and found about 1.2 billion gallons of gasoline were wasted in a year because of underinflated tires. That's roughly 1% of all the fuel burned. Put a price on it at around $3 a gallon, and drivers are tossing away $3 to $4 billion year after year. For one driver, the hit is smaller, but it adds up. Even a 1-2 PSI drop can shave your miles per gallon by a little, and a little every day is a lot by spring. I've seen drivers pick up easy MPG just by bringing tires back to spec. If this is helping you stay safer and save cash, you're watching Recall Roadmap with Morgan. Hit subscribe so you don't miss simple safety wins. Drop an emoji below if you track tire pressure for gas savings, for safety, or both. We crunch the fuel numbers so you can make a smart choice fast. Next up, low pressure doesn't just burn gas, it chews through your tread and shortens tire life. Underinflated tires build up heat. Heat is the #1 enemy of tires. That line from industry testing sticks with me because it's true in the shop and on the road. Low pressure makes the tire flex too much. Flex makes heat. Heat weakens rubber and breaks down the structure. Result: faster, uneven wear. Tests show underinflated tires can lose up to 25% of their tread life. If your set should last 40,000 miles, you might only see 30,000 if you ride soft all winter. I've watched edges scrub off sooner when pressure is low and centers wear faster when pressure is too high. Either way, your money goes into the shred pile. Safety studies also list underinflation as a top factor in tire failures and skids. That's a double hit: less safety and more cost. We reviewed tire maker research and government reports to confirm those numbers so you can plan with confidence. The fix is simple and cheap compared to a new set of tires. So, what PSI should you run when it's freezing out? Let's set the right target for winter and make this easy to keep up. Let's set the target and make it clear. Start with the cold tire pressure on your driver's door placard or in the owner's manual. For most cars, that's around 30 to 35 PSI, and it is meant to be measured cold, before you drive, when the tires match the outside air. In winter, many automakers and tire guides recommend adding 3 to 5 PSI if you're on winter tires. That extra cushion helps keep stability up, offsets the cold-induced drop, and keeps the TPMS from nagging you on every cold snap. One key tip: if you fill in a warm garage at noon, your gauge will read higher than the true cold value. When you roll outside into the cold, your pressure will fall again. I like to set pressures first thing in the morning or after the car sits for a few hours. Pop quiz time. Check your door or manual for your recommended PSI and post the number below. We reviewed OEM guidance to confirm the +3 to +5 PSI winter advice. Target set? Great. Now let's keep your tires at that mark without turning it into a chore. A tiny routine beats a tow truck. In cold weather, check your tire pressures every 2 weeks. Do it cold before the first drive of the day or after the car has been parked for a few hours outside. Use a trusted gauge. Free gas station pumps can be off by a couple PSI. I like to compare my handheld gauge with what the TPMS reports now and then. Write the numbers down. If you overshoot, bleed a little air out and recheck. Take a quick look at your valve stems and caps. A loose core or a missing cap can let moisture in and cause slow leaks, especially when it freezes. Some folks fill with nitrogen. That can leak slower over months, but it won't stop pressure from dropping with cold. Temperature still wins, and remember, TPMS usually warns only after you're about 25% below the recommended PSI. Don't wait for the dash light to tell you. We pulled these tips from tire manuals and winter guides so you can trust the process. Share your favorite gauge or pump brand in the comments and tell others what works. With that routine, you stay ahead of problems. Now let's wrap it up. Here's the bottom line. Your tire wasn't haunted. It was obeying the laws of physics. Cold air contracts, so tire pressure drops. On average, expect about 1 to 2 PSI lost for every 18-degree Kinika if the temperature falls. That's enough to wake up your TPMS, and it can raise your risk if you ignore it. Underinflation hurts handling and stopping, wastes fuel, and can cut tread life by a quarter. The fix is simple. Set your tires to the recommended cold PSI on the door, and if you run winter tires, add 3 to 5 PSI as your manual suggests. Check pressures cold every couple of weeks with a good gauge, keep valve caps on, and don't rely only on the dash light. A few minutes now saves gas, saves rubber, and keeps you in control when roads turn slick. If this helped, hit like and share it with a friend who hates that morning tire light. And subscribe for more clear, no-drama car safety advice. Thanks for watching. What will you do differently this winter with this knowledge?